It's the NFL on EA Sports, and we'll get to see a pair of teams who fought multiple times in the Super Bowl. It's the Miami Dolphins and the Washington Commanders, and it's coming up next.
And off we go from SoFi Stadium. And all in all, a pretty solid return. Nearly got it to the 35. They'll mark him down officially at the 34. So out comes the Washington offense onto the field. Leading them out, their young quarterback, the rookie from LSU.
We're seeing it more and more in this league, how teams love to have athletes back there taking the snaps, guys who can throw it and move around and get yardage with their legs if needed. He's one of the best examples that we see out there right now. He can throw for hundreds of yards one week and then run for 100+ the next. He adds an extra dimension that really confounds defenses when he puts it all together.
11 yards there on the first play from scrimmage.
Nice little nifty play for him there. Yeah, that's the ability to read a defense and utilize players that don't often get picked up in coverage easily. And I'm talking about being able to use the backs out of the backfield. Because I know that when I used to cover, hey, we got everybody cut. Oh, he just snuck out there, and they just got a nice first down there.
What do we love to say? Get those backs into space, right? And they were able to do that there. Nice pickup on first down. 17 yards is the pickup there for number 17.
Well, I think when they look at their offense, they think to themselves, weapons, weapons everywhere, and they want to move the ball around. They want to spread it to different people, but you absolutely know they want to get this man involved as well, and that's what they just did on that play.
They'll run for the first time here with Brian Robinson, and he'll lose yardage here, back at the 41. Play 3 of the drive not as successful. They go backwards after those 2 first down gains.
Brandon, you're a big lover of music. How about what you just saw there? This is what I call playing the piano for a defensive lineman, the ability to move laterally up and down the line of scrimmage. How about the way he just flowed and got to the outside part of the field and made that play?
He completes this one to Terry McLaurin. And he's got another first down as he's brought down at the Dolphins' 22-yard line. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains. That early game script that they drew up is working pretty well here on this first drive. Already in field goal range, Charles knocking on the door of the red zone.
You know, Brandon, when we met with the coaching staff, they kind of predicted that they would come out firing like this. I think you and I were a little skeptical that it'd be this easy, but they certainly knew what they were doing in scouting, in preparation, and understanding what their team was capable of.
And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. Short completion, just 4 yards, and that's going to bring up second down. Motion man is Crowder. And he is out of bounds, looks like right at the 15. The result, only 4 yards there on the play. And now it's 3rd and 3. This drive, it's been a good mix. 3 passing plays, 3 runs, hitting on all 3 of those passes, and the last one putting him in the red zone.
So wouldn't you think play action right here? Because you've got the ability and had the ability to run it and throw it. Go play action and take your shot at the end zone.
Robinson will try to pick it up. And he's going to have a Commander's first down, I do believe. Yes, he's got it by about a yard there on 3rd and 3. If you make the stop there, maybe you hold them to 3 on this opening drive. They didn't get the stop.
Yeah, new set of downs now. Now you're worried about, just as you pointed out, not just giving up 3, possibly giving up 6. Let's see what they decide to do here, because they've got to change up what they have been doing. It hasn't been working.
And this will be incomplete.
So many times we've seen him try to escape the pocket and do something with his legs, but in this case, the pressure was too intense, and he made the wise choice to just get rid of the football and make sure no one was going to get it.
2nd and 10. They'll run for the first time with Austin Eckler. And he's in. Touchdown, Commanders. Austin Eckler taking it in from 11 yards out. And the Commanders are on the board first here this afternoon.
You get in a second and long situation down here in the red zone, I'd say most defensive coaches would think pass, let's bring some pressure. So this is kind of a tendency breaker here to hit him with something on the ground, and he'll take it all the way into the end zone.
Austin Seibert on for the extra point. And the kick is good, and the Commanders out to a 7-0 lead. A good drive that time as they go 9 plays in all. And it's Austin Eckler who finishes things off with a touchdown run. Following the touchdown, here's Seibert now to kick it off. And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30. The Dolphins take the field with Tua Tagovailoa, their quarterback from Alabama, at the helm.
You want to talk about a driven player, partner. This guy is absolutely that person. He doesn't just have goals in this game. He wants to be remembered among the best to play the position, and he treats every game as an audition for that. It's a lofty goal to set for yourself, but we've seen his drive lead to some impressive games from him. Perhaps another one is in store today.
And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's second down.
I know at times people think we use it too often, but you've got to be able to throw guys open. And when you read zone, you've got to stick it in there before your receiver gets to the next guy in the zone. Otherwise, you bring him into the play.
And that's precisely what allowed that defense to disrupt the pass. Going to the air, Tagovailoa. All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked off by Marshawn Lattimore. And he will bring this one back. An interception return for a Commanders touchdown. Well, that's what you get, apparently, when you try to take on a Pro Bowl cornerback. I mean, what a play there to make the interception and also bring it back for 6.
And he is so good that we've seen teams absolutely stay away from throwing the ball at him. Here, he's just reading the quarterback's eyes the entire way, makes a great play on the football, and turns it into 6.
Extra point by Seibert, up and good, and it's now 14-0. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away. And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. So Miami coming out for their second drive. They've been outplayed early, no question, down 14-0 already as they come up 1st and 10. And they'll send the tight end in motion here. Tagovailoa trying again after the pick 6. That one complete to Hill. And they'll wind up getting this to the 37. Gain of 9.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
Here's Tua. And the Washington pressure gets to him. He will go down. Dorrance Armstrong able to collapse the pocket, get to him, and drop him for a loss of a yard. Not the start to this one that any quarterback would want or envision. Remember, he had the pick 6, and here he ends up on his backside.
And you have to wonder to yourself, okay, after throwing the pick 6, did he get too careful with the football and not deliver downfield and take that sack? They've got to make sure that he's really into this game.
2 yards still to go. 3rd down now. They'll run for it with Achane. He's going to be a yard short. Needed 2, but only got 1. 4th down.
4th and short, partner. I mean, this would be a really risky call. Here we are in the first quarter.
On your own side of the field.
Own side of the field. But, boy, what a tone setter that would be to go for it and get it, wouldn't it?
You're gritty today. I like it.
I'm feeling it.
Jake Bailey on now to punt here on 4th down. And a fair catch signaled for and taken just outside the 20-yard line. It'll be a 39-yard punt, no return. And it will be Washington football now with a 1st and 10. From the shotgun, it's Daniels. Open man is Noah Brown. And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down. Give him 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give him a 1st down.
They sure put the coverage guys in a stress on that one. They thought they were going deep. Ends up curling inside for a nice chunk of yardage.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. Give him a gain of 5 on the completion, and that'll make it 2nd down. That was a lightning-fast decision that time. He just caught it and got rid of it.
Because he saw his guy was going to be open immediately. So he took the R, the run, out of the play. He took the O, the option, out of the play, and immediately got to the pass.
Now Daniels. Over the middle, complete. That's Brown. A 5-yard pass on the heels of a 5-yard run. Good enough for the 1st.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
They go play action. Daniels. This is caught. It's Brown. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. Give him 30 yards there.
There's the arm strength that we saw in college and during the scouting process. And really, it's not just the arm strength there, but the placement as well. To me, that was an excellent combination of arm talent and accuracy.
So now 1st and 10 as they've crossed into Miami territory at the 26-yard line. Eckler now between the tackles. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. Play action, now it's Daniels. Pass to Brown, he's got it on the crossing route. And he's got another 1st down as he's brought down at the Dolphins 14. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. Robinson up the middle. And he'll be taken down here at about the 11. 2 yards on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Defensively, we always know that he is tough in run support, and I think the way that he gets there is he understands what an offense is going to do before the ball's even snapped. A great job of scouting prior to the game, then reading, reacting, and taking the right path to the ball carrier.
Again, it's Robinson. And he takes it in. Touchdown, Commanders. Brian Robinson Jr. taking it in from 11 yards out. And the Commanders have moved out in front by 3 touchdowns. Boy, still in the first quarter, and look out. I mean, they are on pace for over 80 points in this game. I don't know that they'll get there, CD, but this has been impressive to watch so far.
That certainly would be history in the making, wouldn't it, partner? I'm glad we're here to actually watch and see if it actually happens, although, like you, I have my doubts, but they are firmly in control of this game.
So how about this for a start? 21-0 here in the first as they kick this one away. And he's going to be taken down on what will be the final play of this first quarter. 21-0 our score after one. It's Dolphins football here as we begin the second quarter, as they get set to start their drive with a 1st and 10. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. Well, CD, you kind of feel like they're in a bit of a danger zone right here because now you're down 3 scores, and I know we're in the first half, but the way this offense hasn't been able to generate anything, you feel like they probably need to get something going on this drive, right?
Yeah, and sometimes I overuse if this is an important possession, but I think this has to be the possession where they come up with an answer because only a few teams in league history have ever come back from a 4-score deficit, and if they don't score here, that's what they could be facing the next time they get the ball.
A run straight ahead with Achane. And he's got room. And he's going to get this all the way down to Washington's 35-yard line. He's able to rip off 32 on that one. It's a 1st down.
Now that's a big-time run. Lightning in a bottle, forget it. He exploded out of the bottle for that type of a pickup.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Here's Tagovailoa to throw. That's going to be caught by Waddle. So just 3 yards on the completion there. And that will bring up 2nd down. They'll swing this complete out to Hill. So they'll get nothing out of that play. 3rd and 7 now.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. They're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
The 25-yard line is what they need here. This is 3rd down. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he is going to have the Dolphins 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
What a drive. This has been just chewing up the yardage, and here's one of their best plays yet as they finally get down into the red zone and look to finish this off with 6.
First foray into the red zone for Miami. 1st and 10 right at the 20. Now Tua. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Hill. And the Dolphins are going to be looking at 1st and goal as they move this down to the 4-yard line.
Just picking up yardage in bunches here these last few plays. They have moved right down the field, and just like that, they're going to be set up with a 1st and goal.
And they'll turn to the power game to try to get in. And he tries to keep the legs churning, but he's going to be stopped behind the line.
After a play like that, there should be congratulations all the way around, I think, because if you can stop a big fullback like that, that's not easily done.
Yeah, he does not go down easily. You're right, but he did there. Back at the 5-yard line now, 2nd and goal. Play action. Now it's Tua. Touchdown, Dolphins. Devon Achane. A 5-yard touchdown. And the Dolphins are able to make some inroads here to that deficit. That seemed like a much-needed touchdown after 21 unanswered points to start the game.
It's not often that you equate a football game to a golf tournament, but it's like you don't want to shoot yourself out of the tournament too early. So they needed that touchdown to make sure that they got an opportunity to not just get back into this game, but a chance to win it later if they continue to play well.
Extra point up and good by Sanders, and they'll cut the lead to 21-7. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. Washington ready to try again on offense. So for this offense, Charles, remember, drive 1 made it to the end zone. Drive 2 resulted in a touchdown as well. Now they'll try to make it 3 for 3.
Yeah, and, they told us all week that this was the plan and this is what they wanted to execute. But did they really believe it would happen this well, this efficiently? I know they'll take it. And afterwards, they'll say, there was never a doubt in our minds we were going to be successful in this one.
And a dump off here to Robinson. And even with that broken tackle, can't get very far. Stops short of the 30. So give him 2 yards there on the completion, and it's second down.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
To the air goes Daniels. Throw to the right here, taken in by McLaurin. And out across midfield, down to the 45. The extra effort after the catch makes it good for a gain of 26 and also a first down.
So many times in my career, I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing. But as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
And this winds up a gain of 4 to the 41.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. Wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
From the 41, here's 2nd and 6. Daniels looking to throw. That's to McCaffrey, complete. First time these two have hooked up this afternoon, and it's a first down. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield. We both know it's difficult, but they've made it look effortless out there. Through the air, on the ground, they've moved the ball with relative ease.
So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20. In motion left, that's Crowder. Off the play fake, Daniels. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. That time, Bradley Chubb shooting in there for the sack. That's a step in the right direction defensively here because you're facing this sizable deficit. They're going to need more plays like that. A good sack, though. Good effort there.
And what you're hoping is, as you said, a step in the right direction, and that means it's something to build on. So you get the first one, and hopefully that can ignite them, and now they can make a few more plays and get back into this game.
Here's Daniels. Middle of the field, he's got McLaurin. That was play number 7 on this drive, and it got him 7 yards.
I think as he began this throw, you saw that the area was congested, but he has a lot of confidence in his arm, and he fits that one in there nicely. They pick up the catch, not much yardage afterwards.
This will be the 8th play of the drive. It's 3rd and 7. To throw is Daniels. And this is Ertz with it, right side. And he is going to be stopped at the 12, short of the first down. Now a stoppage here as it looks like we've got a Dolphin shaken up on the play. The medical staff will attend to him, and we will step aside. So on 4th down, Austin Seibert on to try the Washington field goal. From the right hash here, should be an easy one. Seibert able to knock this one through, and they will open things up a bit more. It's 24-7. So a nice kick there as they are able to add on to their lead.
And that's exactly what you're looking to do. Maneuver yourself into range. That way, if your drive stalls out, you're able to get something out of it. And they do so right there.
After the made field goal, Seibert back out there to kick it away. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. Tua and the rest of the Dolphin offense back out onto the field. Last series, the ball never hit the ground. 6 of 6, touchdown pass, so whatever he did then, do it again, right?
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of when I watch the best quarterbacks throw 7-on-7 or even routes versus air. They're accurate. The receivers catch it. The ball never touches the ground. Or if you want to take it to basketball, a well-executed fast break, right? Pass, 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 finish at the rim, basket. Yeah, ball never hits the ground there either.
Only 3 there on the screen at second down.
Nice job by the defense figuring that play out and holding it to a short game, but I don't think the offense is going to be daunted. They actually accomplished their goal there. Now they've got them aware that they can throw a screen at them, maybe to slow the pass rush down a little bit, and they can throw it downfield.
Tua going to throw. He'll dump this off to Achane. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. The Dolphins going to take their second timeout as the clock shows 50 seconds to play here in half number 1. First and 10 here. You know, if they could just get 3 out of this, there's something about narrowing it to a 2-score game at half that makes it feel like much less of an obstacle. To a hit, and the ball is out. And this ball recovered by the offense, but remember, they cannot advance it here in the final 2 minutes of the half. So this will be blown dead, and it'll come back to the spot of the fumble. The fumble on first down now. Here's second down. Looking to pass. Tua. Throwing left sideline there, but it's incomplete.
Down several scores and playing behind the chains is not the way to have success in this one. Right now, if you're the offensive line, your big concern, protecting your quarterback and giving him a chance to try and throw something downfield to pick up the needed yardage.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Up the middle, Achane. And they'll indeed stop him on third down. And now what do you want to do with your timeouts? And Washington now going to use the first of their 3 timeouts, as the clock will stop with 35 seconds to go in quarter number 2. Here's Jake Bailey now. And a fair catch called for and made at the 12-yard line. A 40-yard punt, no return. And the Washington offense will be backed up to start this drive as they've got it first and 10. A little under 30 seconds to go. We'll see how they play it here on first and 10. Throwing now is Daniels. Over the middle, that's complete to McCaffrey. And a short 3-yard pickup gets him up to the 15.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders, hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or?
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
And that's incomplete. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we'll send you eastward to Orlando. Standing by with that EA Sports halftime report now is John. And just like that, on we head to half number 2. Welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth, ready for quarter number 3. The Dolphins down on the scoreboard, but they'll have it first as we get going in this third quarter. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. The Dolphins getting set to go back to work here in quarter number 3. And you have to think, Charles, down 3 scores already. They need to play an almost perfect second half to have a solid chance.
And that absolutely starts with finding some way to put together a touchdown drive here. They need to be smart, fast, efficient, get the ball into the end zone, and do it again multiple times in order to have a chance to win this game.
Forced out, and he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. That's Daron Payne with a sack that time.
Well, he was really focused downfield, but there was really no viable options. The coverage was too good.
And the defense really quickened the tempo of that play with their pass rush because there was nowhere for him to go with the football. The only place he ended up, down on the ground.
Got to assume this defense will be charging again here. It's 2nd and 15. Tua sets up to pass it.
And that's going to be incomplete.
Well, when the running game's not working, sometimes you just got to take a few more chances down the field. That's a good effort, but it winds up incomplete.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. In motion, Hill. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw.
And the pressure gets there, and Tua is going to be taken down.
The corner blitz gets there as he goes down for a loss of 7.
I think we've seen this before. Someone's down 3 scores. That situation there, it's just going to add to their growing frustrations, don't you think?
Yeah, a bad number 3 right now. 3-score game, 3rd quarter, 3 and out, not what they wanted. And you can tell on the sideline, those faces are getting a little bit longer as this one goes.
And the punter Bailey on now as he sends this one away.
Good coverage there holds him to just a 2-yard return following a punt of 44.
And the Commanders will take over with a 1st and 10.
They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10 at the 45.
Working out of the gun, Daniels.
Got a man, it's Brown. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick 1st down.
And while we may be looking at the scoreboard, this offense certainly is not because they're showing no signs of backing down, even with a 3-score lead here in the 3rd quarter. I think they keep taking their shots. They've seen blown leads happen throughout this league. They don't want to fall victim to it themselves.
And they'll let the quarterback keep it here on 1st and 10.
6 yards there on the keeper. It's 2nd down.
Now that's what he can do, when he keeps the football. It's not a huge gain, but it shows how hard it can be to stop him.
Yeah, and I thought the defense had that one pretty well contained, and in fact, they probably came up and felt pretty good about what they did. Then they looked up and realized he still got good yardage out of it. He's a tough guy to stop.
2nd and 4.
Short throw here to the tight end Bates.
And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. First target, first catch, and a 1st down.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a 1st down.
And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29.
A nice stick and stop for a loss there from Jalen Phillips.
Part of the thinking when you bring in extra tight ends, you're hoping that each of your guys gets those one-on-one blocks and creates a crease for your runner. You know what the converse is, though? You've got to win those one-on-one blocks, and when you don't, that's the result you end up with.
Throw left side. McCaffrey's got it. And he'll be out of bounds as he gets this down to about the 21 or 22. That'll give him 8 that time, and it's 3rd and 4 now.
What I love about watching the passing game nowadays is that the one-dimensional receiver is really starting to leave the game. You've got to be able to do it all. Of course, you got to run fast. Of course, you got to catch the ball. But route running savvy and toughness, there's a premium for all of that now.
Toward the back corner of the end zone, but he could not get the feet down. This will wind up incomplete.
I certainly like the idea. You're down on their side of the field. Get your big play guy involved. That time, they put one up for him to see if he can.
And now hold everything here as the challenge flag is out. And we're going to get a review of that last play. Here's Seibert now to add the extra point. And the lead is now 24. After the made field goal, Seibert back out there to kick it away. Now a crease here as he's past the 30. Dolphins offense returning to the field. And they have had their problems moving the ball through the air as we take you through some of the action from earlier. This secondary has played about as well as you can. Many times they've left this quarterback with nowhere to go with the football. First down Miami as they get set to start the drive. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
They'll motion the tight end across the formation. From midfield, here's Tua. Short throw to Smith. Just a gain of a couple there. And that'll bring up second down.
Yeah, that one was covered pretty well because they were trying to leak the tight end out into the flat. I think they were hoping he could catch and turn upfield and pick up the first down.
From just across the midfield stripe, here's a 2nd and 8. Throwing now is Tagovailoa. And it's complete right back in the hands of Smith. And he's out of bounds as he gets this down to the 45. They'll give him 4 yards there, and it brings up 3rd and 5 now.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication, and as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
3rd catch for him on this drive alone, and it'll give him a first down.
Well, this might very well have been 4-down territory, but that's not going to matter now. They get a nice throw there on 3rd down, and they're able to keep the drive going.
Now Achane on 1st and 10. 54 yards rushing for him now to this point.
They've created a nice sustained drive off of plays like that. A nice strong run there that keeps them advancing the ball.
Second down and 4.
In motion goes the tight end.
Right back to Achane on 2nd down. And he's able to motor his way down to the 16-yard line.
17 yards for the Dolphins there as they've got themselves a first down.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember, the last drive, they went 3 and out.
So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10. Achane here, they stay on the ground.
And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
And now you have to wonder, partner, at what point in time do they forget the running game? It's been a struggle so far in this one. I would think they'd have to start throwing it a little bit more.
Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11.
On the handoff, it's Achane.
A tough run gets him just inside the 10 to the 9, but no further. That was the 8th play of the drive, so a somewhat fitting pickup of 8 yards.
Not too many offenses want to turn down long drives, but when you're down what they are, they've got to pay it off with some points.
Here comes play number 9 now as they come up on a 3rd and 3. In motion, Hill.
On 3rd down, Achane.
And he won't have the touchdown, but he will have the first down as he's tackled at the 2. Move the chains, a gain of 7 on 3rd down.
Despite the score, despite the deficit, no quitting this guy. He's running angry, running through arm tackles. He wants to change what that scoreboard is saying.
In motion left, Hill. Now they show jet sweep, but instead a run up the middle here.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Now that sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to 2nd down.
This is a tough situation offensively because down 3 scores, the field goal kicker's not even going to come into play here. As an offensive play caller, though, you know you have to take chances. This is a time to get creative.
Going to the air, Tagovailoa. Toward the pylon, caught. And just shy of the goal line as he's out of bounds right at the 1. Only 3 yards there on the completion. That'll lead to a 3rd and goal.
And when you run a drag route like this down near the goal line, you're hoping maybe you get an inadvertent pick to set your man free. A lot of people are calling them natural screens, but this was well defense, and they stopped him for just a short gain.
Achane.
And he gets halfway there down to the 1-yard line. Only a yard that time, so now a decision to be made here on 4th and goal. So with a 4th and goal looming, we hit the end of 3 quarters of play. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Los Angeles. It's Dolphin football, but they trail here as we get set for the 4th. The field goal doesn't help. They're going to go for the 6 here on 4th and goal. They're going for it. Here's Tua with it. They're turned away on 4th and goal.
And the Commander defense able to hold.
Well, certainly not the way that they were hoping that possession would end, failing to convert on 4th.
And now they've got to make sure that they keep their poise, they keep their confidence. Just because it didn't work once doesn't mean if they get that same situation later that they shouldn't go for it again. The defense feels great, but the offense, they can't be despondent.
Now a handoff to start it out. Robinson. And he's able to get this across the 10 before being taken down. Trying to escape the shadow of their goalpost. That helped. 10 yards, first down. Now, I think we can get used to seeing more of that in this 4th quarter, especially if they're having success on the ground like they did there.
Yeah, I think back when we met with the head coach in preseason, and all he talked about was building a bully. And I think it was this situation he was envisioning. Trying to ice a game, plenty of time left, but being able to give the ball to his big runner and pound away and try and finish off a game.
Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
They'll run again here with Robinson. And just not a ton of room to work with. He'll get it to the 15 for a gain of 2.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
And the Dolphins beef up the secondary here as they look to stop him on 3rd down.
From the shotgun, it's Daniels. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he's going to have a Commander's first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Partner, I have to tell you, just one word keeps coming to mind from watching them this afternoon, and that's impressive. They have been impressive from the opening kickoff, and they haven't let up here even into the 4th quarter.
On 1st and 10, it's Robinson.
And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40.
43 yards rushing for him now on what was his 10th carry of the ball game.
Another example of this offense really having their way, Charles, and another big chunk play there on the ground.
And when you look at the defense, they've got to do a much better job of wrapping up when they tackle. A lot of great opportunities continue to slip through their fingers, as do the runners.
Back to Robinson now on first down. And some good acceleration there as he's across midfield to the 48-yard line. So that run play nullified by the holding call on the tight end.
Yeah, I just think he needs to get off the ball a lot quicker and get into the block a little bit more effectively. Then he doesn't have to reach and grab and try and hold on.
Straight ahead, it's Robinson.
Trying to run inside, but nothing there.
Jordan Brooks on the tackle.
Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the fourth quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
Calling a gain of 3 on the play, and they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
On 3rd down, here's Eckler. And he'll get this only up to about the 35. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it's going to leave them with a 4th down.
When we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot, he had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
And now the punter, Tress Way, as he sends this one away. Fair catch called. It's taken in right at the 20-yard line.
The Dolphins offense and running back Devon Achane making their way back out. And he's had his fair share of troubles in this one, unfortunately. This defensive front has wreaked havoc throughout the contest, and he hasn't been able to create enough space to make something positive happen to this point. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Here's Tagovailoa to throw.
Oh, the Commanders are going to get there as he's taken down.
Daron Payne able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
But one thing I do know, these guys on defense, they don't want this game to end. They're winning by multiple touchdowns. They've shut down the opposing quarterback in a big way, and they're still picking up sacks as we approach the end of this one.
After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. Off of play action, Tagovailoa. And he'll get this into the hands of Hill, complete. And they work this well upfield across the 45. That one covers 24 yards. It's a 1st down.
A 3-score game here late. You can probably rule out the comeback, but certainly some kind of a moral victory to be had if they can get a few more points to close things out. And to that end, a nice pass play there to push things downfield.
Yeah, and we know in this league, a loss is a loss, and no one wants anything to count as a moral victory or, boy, something that feels a little bit cheap. But if they trim that lead down to just 2 scores, that's still a benefit to this squad.
Got to give credit where it's due. Really nice defense on that play. The pitch and catch was successful, but not any run after it.
Here's 2nd and 7.
from the gun, it's Tua. A short throw there, that's to Smythe, the tight end. And he will get enough for a first down, and that will lead us to the 2-minute warning. Again, they will throw it with Tagovailoa. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
Here's Tua. Now throw right side here, going to be incomplete.
This has been a rough one, to put it mildly, for him. And after this one's done, you just feel like at the post-game press conference, this team's going to have a lot of questions and definitely not a lot of answers.
This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10. Now Tua. Had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
4th down, 4th quarter. Here's Tua. He's going to go for a big play downfield. And it's knocked away and incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And the Commanders come through with a 4th down stand. So they tried to go for it for pride, but it really wouldn't have mattered. This one, it was already determined.
No doubt about it. This one was over a while ago.
The Commanders' offense set to take over. Now they are really in the driver's seat here, enjoying this lead late in the 4th quarter. The defense does have all 3 timeouts, but at this point, doesn't look like it's going to matter much. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. Tyrell Dotson there on the tackle. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
On 2nd down, another shot for Robinson. And he'll push his way up to about the 44 here. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive. Here now a 3rd down and 8. Robinson with another carry. And he'll get this up near midfield, but that's still a few yards shy of the 1st down. Call it a gain of 4, and it'll bring up 4th down. So a victory here for the Commanders. And it was a game where they were off and running in the 1st quarter, Charles, and never looked back.
You know, partner, after a while, we always say the same thing, don't we? They set the tone early, right? They started fast. So I asked a few of my horse racing friends, do you have a term for me that we can use to cover that? And they said, yeah. When a horse breaks out like that, you say he caught a flyer out of the gate. And that's exactly what this team did today. I mean, they jumped out there, jumped on them, and were never headed.
So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. With that, we say so long from Southern California.